Oh my goodness.
Now you can get some pictures of plow pouring.
Yeah, you got a building. It's like a tool museum in here. There's plow points, and I like representing farming history.
Well,
I'm actually wanting to.
That's good that somebody is.
You've been collecting for a long time, ain't you? You must not never got rid of anything like on a tool. So do you know the history of this one, where it came from?
I've used it.
You used it?
Yeah.
What's this do here? This is tobacco.
That was an asbestos shingle cutter.
An asbestos shingle cutter.
it's
Boy, that's
wrote-
wrong on that, wasn't I?
It's wrote on it. There's some more Shelby's prices in the grocery business. Well, I'd done retired
Oh, you done retired?
at
Okay.
that time, but I was working.
Working. I don't think you've ever stopped working. Hello, I'm John.
I'm Bob Miller.
Bob, good to meet you, buddy.
Come in and get your seat. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I understand. I was told that you used to work at Shelby's, and I was kind of interested in back in the day when they used to run a truck.
Rolling stores?
Yeah?
And stuff, yeah.
Did you ever work on one of them? Or?
Well, no, I've run wholesale trucks and worked stores, you know, and sold them stuff like feed and fertilizer and produce. I'd go all over in Scott County and go up in the mountains. I'd make 2 trips a week. I'd go over in Scott County 2 times a week, and then I'd go in the mountain 2 times a week.
So Shelby's sold wholesale to other stores?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And matter of fact, they about everybody in this part depended on them.
Oh, okay.
Because they was just Mr. Shelby, the main one that first started out years ago. Why, the first time he went in business, he went broke,
Oh, yeah?
and then he had to start over again. So that time, he knowed what it was to, I guess, to get in the groove.
Yeah?
Well, as time went on, I went to work for him in March of '57, and I worked till 2000.
Well.
And you're familiar with down on First Street?
Yes,
Well, see, up through there, that's where your town used to be.
Okay.
Now it's down in Jacksboro.
Right.
But up through there, you started off there when you first turned in, where the park is now. That was the Methodist church.
Right, okay.
Over on the other side, you had a 3-chair barber shop.
Okay.
Then you had the bus station, was about the importantest thing in this town at that time. You had 2 bus lines come in here daily. But there wasn't no interstate at that time. You had to go through the mountain up here and to get back on to the, when you got to Jellicoe, you know, it still wasn't no interstate at that time.
Right.
But when you passed the bus station and going up that street, that was Shelby's Warehouse Milling Company.
Now, what was you mainly selling, wholesale and delivering? What type of products?
Well, feed, seed, and fertilizer, and any kind of garden produce.
Garden produce.
Yeah, you know, we hauled out of Knoxville 2 to 3 days a week often, but like it was back then, when you went into Knoxville, they had a market over there on both sides of the street, probably a mile or more. Just went down like that. Well, if you didn't like the feller's price when you went to buy it, if you didn't like his price, you'd cross over on the other side, and he'd get with you, because most of them, they wanted to sell a big bunch, you know. Well, it wasn't nothing for us to. We 3 times a week, we picked up 40 boxes of bananas, 40-pound boxes. And that's a lot of bananas.
Right, yeah.
But see, at that time, he had 6 rolling stores.
Oh, I didn't know he had that many.
Yeah, that went all over. They had a different route. They went every day, 5 days a week.
Okay. So that's what I was kind of interested in. A lot of people remember those rolling stores coming to their house.
Yeah.
So he had the grocery store also down there too, I
well,
guess.
see, you know where Lindsay's is now?
Yeah.
Well, that was where he started out, Mr. Shelby.
Okay.
And then that parking lot right behind where Pyro Show is now, you know what it looked like. That they built that supermarket on that in '65.
Okay.
And but before before it was in that kind of business, I can remember just as a boy, that was a backer house there. That whole parking lot was where they bought backer.
Oh, backer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Because it was just an old rough metal building.
Okay.
Well, then in later years, they tore that out. That before I come to work in this town, but they tore that out, and it was a parking lot. And they had a fella stayed in there in a little building, and he give you a ticket when you went in. You could stay an hour for a nickel.
Okay.
Or you could a dime for 2 hours. And well, the shirt factory at that time was up in that big building up on that side, that brick building. I still don't see how they could have had 1,000 people working in there, how they'd had the room to move. Do you?
Well, that's a lot, ain't it?
That's a lot, but it stayed there for many, many years.
Right.
And like when we trying to get a feed truck out, you better get it out on Friday evening before the shirt factory turned out, because these men come to pick up their wives, on payday.
Yeah.
You couldn't they wouldn't let you out in the streets. You couldn't get out. We couldn't get out of the building. And
so there was that much traffic and business going on downtown.
But when in '65, I say, Shelby's, they built that supermarket on the parking lot.
Right.
Well, see, they had both sides there then. The warehouse was on one side and the other. But then on their side of going on up, you had Bill Hatfield's wood shop. He built Austin Patter truck beds for years and years, and then he wound up in his later years building clocks and stuff. Then you had the next building up there. Now if you go by it, it's a junk pile, but that was Bo Hollingsworth and Chalk. They sold new trucks and new cars and farm machinery.
Okay, what was the name of that company?
Bo Hollingsworth,
they call it something like that.
It was a Hollingsworth, I can't really put but anyhow,
I know what you're talking about.
I bought my first tractor there.
Oh, did you? So did you farm too? Was you farming during this time you worked for Shelby?
Yeah. Okay. I did it up till, I raised my last tobacco crop in 2003.
Okay.
When I took it off to market up at Tazewell, Mr. Ramsey said, "This will be our last year." I said, "What are you talking about?" I didn't know nothing else but backer. I'd received it all my life.
Right.
But he said, "This will be the last year." He said, we can't, it just got up to where you could make a little money at it to raising it then. It'd been down there when it got up to 60 cents a pound, you thought you was a flying. But it got up then to it was over $2.
Oh.
And he said, Philip Morris just bought 2 million pounds from Brazil for 40 cents a pound. He said, we can't raise it for that. You could, it cost you more than that to fix the tobacco bed.
Yeah.
And but that was I never have played politics in no ways, but you see some things when you look back that the government done that you see ought to have been left alone. I do.
Yeah.
Up this valley, it's hard to believe it now, but up this valley here, from here to the crossroads, we made dairy feed for 23 dairies. Now there's one up through there.
Yeah.
Well, about the next year or so at the most, they come through then. See what they done, they bought out the dairies, which don't get me wrong, it helped a few of the old people that they was wanting to get out anyhow.
The government bought them out.
Yeah. And they paid them for 10 years. They got a check in January for 10 years to get into something else.
Now, why would the government do that, you reckon?
Well, you tell me.
You don't know.
But they done the same thing with the tobacco.
Yeah.
I was in on that. I got a check for 10 years not to raise none.
Yeah.
And they'd send you a check in January. But that didn't make good. What you done in both places, were you dairy and a backer too. You wasn't just putting me out of job, you was putting dozens of other people. You had to have, in both of you, at times, you didn't have to keep them all the time, but there was times you had to have help. You know, putting up your hay and stuff for cattle, and then the cutting tobacco and grading it and getting it ready. But it just didn't make sense to buy out them two things to me.
You're right, yeah.
Because I didn't know nothing else but to raise backer and milk cows. I was raised in a dairy.
Where was you raised up at?
Well, up the valley. And I'm not no more than 2 miles from where I was born at yet. I don't guess I've rode much, have I?
Well, so you're still farming up the valley? You still got a farm?
I've not got a farm, but I've got I sold my big part of the farm, but I've still got 2.5 acres that I garden.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's got an old house on it. It's it's got everything that you could picture on the walls and in it that's back in time.
Oh yeah. Did you used to live in that house? Or?
No.
So how long has it been since somebody lived in it?
Well, it's been probably 50 years.
Was it part of your family's farm, or did you buy it?
The girl that I bought it off of, I went to school with in that time, and she married and went to Indiana, and she never did come back here, only maybe on a week's vacation. But her mother lived there. She worked at the shirt factory, and then for probably 50 years, I looked after the farm. They had a pretty good sized farm there. So her mother wouldn't agree to sell it, you know, at that time. Well, later years when her mother passed away, she told me, I just used it like it was mine, the whole farm. Had cattle on it and everything. But she finally come in one time and she said, Bob said, I'm going to sell this place. She said, I'm not getting anything off. I said, I don't blame you a bit. Well, they put a big sign up on the gate up there, and Longmire down here, he was one that had it up, David. So I knowed with the price they had on it at that time, it wasn't never hitting. Well, it went on for probably a year, and she said, well, he ain't trying. Said, I'm going to turn it over to Hack. Well, when Paul Providence come up there, me and him sat up on the porch there, and I said to him, I said, Paul, what do you think this place will bring? He said it'll bring between 95 and 100,000. There's about, probably 100 acres of it or more.
Now, what year would this have been?
Well, that was been, it's been 15 years ago.
15 years ago, okay.
Yeah. So I told her when she was in one day, she'd come in and spend a vacation, and she said, I want you to help me clean the old house out. Well, I had a truck, I backed it up there, me and my wife went up there, and I said, you want to just show me what to load? And I said, I'll load it. Well, I had the house right down below it where I still lived in part of the time. So when dinner time come, I had a truck with a rack on it, and it was rounded up. She said, well, we better go and eat dinner. I said, well, okay. I told my wife, I said, this load's not going to no dump. I said, there's a basement down here. So I just went down there and unloaded it in my basement, backed it back up there, and that night I had it loaded again. So she had a couple of things, a china cabinet and something else that was real old for she wanted to keep. So she said, when I come back, get ready to leave tomorrow, said we'll come back by here and load this so we won't have to haul it around. So I had it staked out, the 2.5 acres that I got. It kind of run out with a house away from the farm, more or less. The farm was more back here, but it was out in front of it. Well, I'd raised backer for many years. So when she come that day, I said, Alice, won't you sell me this 2.5 acres out here? I said, it won't bother the farm in the least. Well, she said, Providence told them not to sell nothing off of it. What they had in mind was what I got. They was going to make 4 drives through it to cut that in tracks back on the back. And I said, won't you sell me that? And she said, well, what are you talking about? The old house was in bad shape, you know, and everything, but I fixed it up pretty much. But I said, I'll make you an offer on this 2.5 acres here. I said, I'll give you $10,000. Well, she said, let me study on it tonight. And she said, I'll let you know something in the morning. So I think her husband swung the deal for me, because when she come the next morning, the first thing she said, we're going to let you have it. I said, well, let's go down and get a deed fixed up. And then they come in, and Paul did. Then about a month later, they wouldn't put the sign up for sale, and they wasn't moving. Because at that time, there was a spell there, you know, if you put a place up now, you better be ready to move, hadn't you?
Yeah.
But at that time, it wasn't that hot.
Right.
But she fixed it up, and then, well, when they come up there on a Saturday and had the sale, well, actually, they wasn't but 2 people there that was interested in it.
So they have an auction on it?
Yeah.
So how many acres was left after you took 2.5?
Well, they probably 80-something acres.
Yeah.
But so it brought 96,000. The rest of it did. So Harris is in, Benny Harris, you know him?
Yeah.
Well, he got it all.
Okay.
But before that time, I could have bought the whole thing, believe it or not, for $3,500. When I bought the place up there that I sold, 17.5 acres, $1,800. I was picking up a fella that lived over there and bringing him. I was working down there, and I picked him up and brought him to work every morning. And I went by one evening, and there was a sign up there on the road where they'd split it up, and it was a 2-acre tract up there. He said, I said, you know who owns that up there that's got that sign up for sale? He said, yeah, there's a fella down in Clinton bought that. He said, are you looking for some land? I said, yeah. Well, he said, they 17.5 acres are joining me. He said, you can buy it cheaper than you can buy that 2 acres. I said, well, you're talking to the right fella. So he gave me the feller's name and phone number. He was the president of the Claiborne County Bank, Glenn Yoakum. So the next day, when back that time down at the old bus station, they had a bunch of phone bushes across there, you know, where you could call out. So I got me $2 worth of change and went down and called him while I was out for dinner that day. I told him who it was and what I had in mind. He said, yeah, I've got that. He said, well, I said, how can I buy it? He said, just any way you want to. He said, I'd like to have $300 down to start the paperwork, but he said, other than that, said, we can fix up everything else any way you want to. I said, well, I'd like to buy it and pay you one payment a year. He said, that would be fine with me. But I had to go to the bank the next day to get my $300 borrowed to pay the down payment, you know.
What year would this have been in?
That was in 67.
1967, yeah.
And, well, my day off that week was on Thursday. So I told him when I'd be up there, and he said, I will meet you here at the bank. We sat there, his wife worked in the bank and done the work, everything about it. Just like me and you are sitting here.
Yeah.
So he said, while we was talking, he said, I've got another piece of property down there. It's got a backer allotment on it. Said, do you know anybody would like to raise it? I said, yeah, you're looking at him. And I'd never met the man before. He said, well, just go ahead and do whatever you want to do with it. You know where it's at. I never seen him no more. I had my payment set up to make my payment in December when I sold the backer, because I raised 2 or 3 different crops of backer. Well, I raised that backer crop, and I kept up with what I had in it, you know, buying my fertilizer and stuff, so he was to take care of that. Well, when I went up, I got my backer money, I paid him $500 down that day. I mean, after my first payment was scheduled, it was $500 and then $30 worth of interest. So I had, when his backer money, I give him his half of it. I paid my payment, and I still had some left, raising that backer though. I raised it 3 years like that and paid mine off. Well, he had the 80 acres there yet. He said, now let me sell you that 80 acres. Well, I said, man, I can't buy that. He said, you can buy it. He said, you want out there and make me down payment, just start paying me like you did this. Well, see, I'd have got all the backer the next year if I'd have bought it. But I was trying to build a house on what I'd bought. But $1 looked like it's that long. It wasn't like it is today, by no means.
Now, did you, growing up on the farm, did you start working on the farm at a young age, helping your family?
Yeah, quick as I got big enough.
Yeah, what kind of stuff would you do?
We was in the dairy.
Yeah, milking cows?
My dad was running the dairy. Well, when I graduated, I guess you'd call it that, I just got to the 8th grade, but I was 16 years old. My 2 older brothers, they had decided to get them a job. They was helping Dad there on the farm. He said, since you ain't got old enough yet hardly to get a job, said, just stay on here and work for me on the farm, said I can pay you $75 every 2 weeks from the dairy, you know. Well, for a 16-year-old boy back then, buddy, that's big money, wasn't it?
Yeah, what year would that have been? What year would you have been born in?
37.
37. So you probably started working when you was just a teenager, I guess.
Well, I wasn't big enough to do some things like loading hay and stuff, but I did anyhow.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when Dad and them first went to the dairy there, he was in with Dr. P.T. Howard. You ever hear that name?
Yeah.
That's who owned the farm. Well, see, they was in 50-50. Dad had to pay half.
Was that who they call Doc Howard?
Yeah.
That owned the house up at the John Kincaid house?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So Doc Howard did a lot of farming even as a doctor, didn't he?
Well, he had numerous of big farms up there. Right, where that dollar stores are sitting up there in the valley now. That was on both sides of this road. Wasn't in there then. That was all one farm. That was his. And right on up there where Harris they used to raise frying chickens in a big long building. There's a big farm there. He owned it. He owned where the Kincaid place was. Right.
He owned the original Kincaid house too, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He lived there, then he had his doctor's office up here in Fincastle.
Yeah.
So did you ever go to the doctor there to see him as a kid?
Well, you didn't have to. On Thursday, he'd come up. That was his day. He'd closed.
Yeah.
He'd come up and spend the day with us.
Oh yeah.
I guess to get away from the run of the rat race.
Yeah.
But he'd come up there and, well,
Was he
he
check on
always
his farm?
he brought his little satchel with him. If one of us was puny, well, he'd fix you, give you a shot. The doctor I'll go to now, and I've been going to him 12 years, he's never given me a shot or nothing.
Yeah?
All he does is comes and sets his laptop down there. You eat?
Yeah.
That's his racket. But I wasn't ever used to that kind of doctor, and of course I've not had that much doctor.
Been in pretty good health, huh?
I had a heart attack in 2000, but Dr. Rod over at Knoxville, he put me in some stents, and I've never had no more problems.
Well, that's good. This new technology's better now with them stents. They don't have to do so much open heart surgery like they used to. My dad died from a heart attack.
Yeah.
So I know what that's like.
When they opened you up, buddy, that was a tough operation, wasn't it?
Yeah. So one of the things I've been talking about, especially that you see in the valley, like what you talked about, is there's not many small farms no more, no family farms much.
As I noted, it was all cattle and stuff.
At one time.
Yeah.
I mean, some people still do cattle, but there are not too many full-time farms. Like you said, the dairy farms
right across from the front of Valley View School,
yeah,
Carl Higdon, that was all one farm. It was a dairy farm. Now it's got more houses on it than did cows then.
Right, yeah. They turned a lot of that into subdivisions up through there.
I mean, it's just solid.
People had to probably sell off property because the farming wasn't making no money, so they just sold it off into subdivisions.
That's what's burning it. That's like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I went to church one Sunday morning. They was about 3 or 4 fellas, you know how they'll gather up out and talk.
Yeah.
About 4 church time. They was standing there talking about the price of eggs. How high eggs was.
Yeah.
I said, who can you blame that on? I said, look at yourself. I said, when I was growing up, and this is a fact, there on the dairy, my mom, she kept as much as 200 laying hens. Because she had all these doctors in this town down here. They'd be up there on Saturday to get frying chickens and eggs. Well, she done a lot better than Dad did in the dairy business. Now that's a fact.
Raising chickens?
With chickens.
So she'd raise frying chickens and eggs?
My job on Saturday morning when I was going to school was to catch 10 and pick them so she could finish them up.
Yeah? So you'd kill them and pick them?
And she'd finish them up.
What was the age you started doing that? How old was you when you started killing the chickens?
8 or 10.
8 or 10 years old?
Yeah.
Could you imagine an 8 or 10-year-old now doing that?
They'll tell you off, buddy.
They don't know nothing about that, do they?
And let me show you a little something here.
Yeah.
Right here. Now, this is facts to back it up with. It's not hearsay. There's when I was working at Shelby's Warehouse and Milling Company.
And this is the prices.
Now look at this right here. Can you imagine now, our 12.5 gauge bob wire, $8, 15.5 gauge was $6.50.
Okay.
Let me show you, here's co-op sale book last week, $65.99.
For the same amount?
Yeah. Now that's hard to believe.
So what do you think put the small farmers out? Just the feed too high, or just not getting enough from the market, or just everything?
You look at that there, the price of 100 pounds of feed back then.
$4?
$4. Now you get in here and find, you can't find 25 pounds for nothing of that for that now. Well, they ain't showing much feed on it, but
so you mainly just grow stuff that do you sell any of your stuff that you grow on your garden in the summer?
Well, I did, but now I ain't able to do it.
Yeah, too much going on with the work and everything.
It just, but if they get around now, and you got up to be past 88 years old, there's been a lot of water went under the bridge.
Yeah, so And I have seen you before selling farm equipment, like you got out here some antique farm equipment. What you do with that?
Well, I can't find it now.
Yeah, you sold it on, can't get no more?
I'd say in the last, say 25 years at least, I've rebuilt over 200 of them.
Oh, the plows?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you like buying them and redoing them?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
And then I
interesting.
had a feller, he would travel around. Sometimes he'd bring me as many as 15 at a time.
Okay.
No handles nor nothing in them, just the frame part.
Okay.
But the same as,
So you'd rebuild them, and that's what I'd be seeing out here in the yard, stuff you'd redone.
Yeah. But that one, that sitting there with that yaller tongue on it now, blade, that's the last one of them I fixed. And that's been 2 years. Of course, I've not tried to push them. They're good to sit out there anyhow.
You like to decorate with them, don't you?
Yeah. But I had them from across there, if you remember.
Yo, you used to have a bunch. Yeah. I stopped in here once. It seemed like you even had something in your basement, maybe shovels or something. I can't remember. Maybe it's what it was.
It's full yet.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. You'd like, and them buildings out there, stuff that's on the wall that's old.
Yeah.
I've got people that, in Scott County and Stinking Creek especially, they're out here every spring wanting plow points and stuff. You don't go down to Smith's Hardware now and pick up a plow point.
I was in a store over in the Upper Cumberland Plateau I've been filming, and it started in 1948. Well, there's still original plow points back on the shelf, and horseshoes and stuff. They don't sell that no more.
Some down on the wall that's got the price they had on them back at that time.
Would you be able to show us some of that stuff?
Yes, I will.
Let's go look at that. I'd like to see them old tools. What year was this built?
Well, it must have been before my time.
Before your time?
But
well, let's see.
There's some more Shelby's prices in the grocery business.
Okay. I don't remember Shelby's grocery store, but I don't remember the rolling stores. But I've talked to a lot of people that remembers buying stuff off them. They always look forward to them showing up.
It was.
Now, did Shelby's take in trades like chickens and eggs and stuff?
Yeah, they bought them. And at one time, when I first went to work there, back in that alley behind where Lindsay is now, we picked them in there.
You did what? Oh, pick the chickens?
Yeah, and cleaned them.
So when they bring them in on the truck, you just have to kill them and clean them, huh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this I did kind of remember seeing all these down here one time when I stopped in here one day.
Yeah. But
so I guess you put handles on some of the old stuff then.
I put all them in.
Yeah. Well, I've got some old pieces that needs handles.
Matter of fact, I had one come before you come there and picked up a saw that I'd rebuilt for him. He had one of these old timey saws, one handle on it.
There's another Shelby's advertisement there. Now, where'd you come across these? I've just kept them over the years and had them personally?
No, the lady that recommended you coming here, she cleans out these houses,
Yeah.
and she finds them old papers at back.
Right, yeah.
But every time she runs in one of them back years ago, she brings it to me, and I cut it out and put it on a board.
Now this is interesting over here. Is this where you work on stuff?
This is my shop right here.
I'd like to see all this over here where you work on stuff. All right, yeah, I see you've got a little bit of everything in here.
Well, I tell some of them sometimes, I said, if it ain't here, it ain't been made yet.
Yeah, I like all your tools here. You don't see many people doing handwork like that. You got all kinds of handles in there for things, and got some odd. Now this is new old stock. This is some old stuff here that you've came across. I like that. This is stuff that's been around for a while.
Yeah.
I like seeing new old stock like that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. You got some over here, you got some pins over here. Made you some displays, I guess. I don't guess you use them, you just use them for display, or do you actually use them?
I use them in whatever.
If you need them. They make nice displays just for people. Now what, well, tell us about these things. What's this about?
I made them myself out of corn cobs.
Yeah? And they're for what?
Well, just a little tree.
Oh, a tree. I didn't know if that's for squirrels or something.
No.
I guess you could put one of them out in your yards. The squirrels would be quite happy if
If
that's
it
full
had
of corn.
on it,
Yeah.
it would, yeah.
Here you got some plow handles I see here.
Yeah.
Now, where'd you still got a place that makes them, and you need to get them when
Well,
you
now you can't find them.
can't find them?
Well, the fella that I bought them off of for years, he sets up down to flea market every week, but he hauls it out of Atlanta.
Yeah.
He says now they're asking him $35 a set for them down there. He said, so he don't fool with them no more.
Oh my goodness.
When I used to, I'd go down there and he was there if he had, no matter how many he got, I just bought them.
Right.
And I'm glad I did, because I was fixing up plows and I needed them.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's interesting. We like seeing stuff where people's fixing stuff and bringing back and restoring vintage farm tools and equipment. That's amazing. Look at all these tools right here.
see, if you put stuff like that in a toolbox, it's always in the bottom. And I'll keep them up over where I can reach and get them. Right here is the handiest thing that I've got.
That's what you use the most of,
I can sit down there and fasten something in there if I want to cut it down a handle
Yeah.
with a drawing knife.
So when did Shelby shut down? What year did Shelby shut their warehouse down? You worked to 2000, right?
Yeah, about 2 years after that.
About 2 years after that.
Right here, where I've got these marks,
Yeah.
that's when I had a heart attack.
Okay.
And this is when they done my surgery.
So that's when you quit working, probably after the heart attack, I guess.
Well, after well, I'd done retired
Oh, you done retired? Okay.
at that time, but I was working.
Working? I don't think you've ever stopped working. Looks like.
But when I went back to work, after they put my stents in, I went back I asked my doctor, I said, what can I expect to do now? He said, just whatever you want to. So
Yeah.
my wife was sitting there, she said, well, you don't know what he does. And after he found out, that I was farming and working at the warehouse too, he said, well, I wouldn't, said, just do what you feel like doing. So I went back to Shelby's. I worked that one day, and that was the longest day ever put in my life. I couldn't hardly get to my vehicle.
Yeah. After the surgery, how long was that after your surgery, though?
Well, about probably a month or something.
Yeah.
But then I just told my boss, I said, I can't do this no more. But even later on, when they went to close it out, he called me and wanted me to clean it out. All the warehouse.
Yeah.
And I done that.
So you went back after all.
Yeah.
Did you get to keep anything out of there that was from the store originally?
Well, what it was, I was to sell it and we split the money, and that's what I done.
You sold it all. Okay. I bet there's some pretty interesting stuff that had been in there for many years.
A lot of it was, yeah. We'll go right through there.
Right through here. Okay. I grew up right there, Bob.
Huh?
You see that house with the green roof on it?
Yeah?
And my dad built that in about 74.
Oh.
I lived there on the house beside of it till I went to high school. We moved again. So I grew up right here.
Right here in there.
Yeah, I know this area pretty good.
Well, I told you I was in 2 miles of where I was born. You know where Lee Mars got a place up there?
Yeah,
Up there. Right back in behind him in there, that's where I was born at.
yeah. I live just 2 miles outside town now, so I just live about 3 miles from where I grew up. Oh my goodness.
Now you can get some pictures of Plow porn.
Yeah, you got a building. It's like a tool museum in here. There's plow points and all kinds of things. I don't even know what you call some of this stuff here. Here you got another display of all these screws and parts and Looks like a hardware store, an old-timey hardware store you got going on here. I like stuff like this. This is right up my alley. Yeah, you got lawnmower parts. You work on lawnmowers too, Bob?
Well, I don't do much work on them like that.
You kind of left them alone now, huh? Yeah, I saw a sign there. We didn't get a picture of it, I don't think, in the basement. It said Bob's Fix-It Shop.
Yeah.
I think you like organizing things pretty good. You got it. There's something you don't find much no more of, them swing sickles.
Well,
I went to try to buy one.
To use it.
No, I went to try to buy one time, and you can't buy them in a store no more. Not around here, but I eventually found a couple.
Yeah.
But they're kind of hard to come by. You got stuff hanging up here. You've apparently bought out of stock from some businesses that's went out of business, looks like. Yeah, we
I guess it's something that I guess it gets habit forming.
It must.
But I can't remember when I didn't jockey and trade on junk and stuff.
Right, well, look at this, all this in here.
Do you know what that is?
Let me see here, let me look. Guess it looks like something to do with pulling something maybe out, maybe.
That's a handsaw set.
A handsaw set.
Yeah. You put that on there in every tooth and mash it, and then it lines them up where they'll keep a cutting. But nobody ain't gonna take time to do that now.
No, they don't do that no more. Yeah, right up there, guys. I grew up one block over the house with the green roof. We lived there first, and my dad built the house next door to it. And then we moved back to the other house. I lived up there from 3rd grade. I went to school over here back in the day when you walked home from school in the 3rd grade. So I got a lot of memories right here on this block. I mowed a lot of these yards here when I was a teenager for people.
Let's go right on up through there and make you a round.
You've been collecting for a long time, ain't you? You must not never got rid of anything like on a tool. This got some lawnmower wheels. Now, what do you call this part of the plow right here, Bob? This section?
That's the 4 foot off my plow.
The foot?
You had a one. It was a 3 foot, but you could add that and on to make a 4 foot if you wanted to.
Okay, so you can add one on there and make the plow more.
Yeah, yeah.
So pulleys, some gas cans. Now there's some kind of. What's that one for? It's hard to say. You probably don't even know on that one. Oh. Yeah, see, back when I was a kid, we throwed all them old tools away. We didn't know to keep them, you know. We got new tools, and then we throw the old ones away, but you knew to keep them, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you kept everything. I couldn't imagine what all you got in here.
Well, I don't think I missed it too far when I said if it ain't here somewhere, they ain't made it yet.
Yeah, I think you're right. Now I see what you mean. Turned a little cold on us, didn't it?
Yes, it's a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, for December it's a little cold, ain't it? Can we go around front and see the stuff that you got up there in the yard?
Yeah, if you
need a coat on? You want to get you a coat?
Yeah, I'm going to go back through this way. You can go back this way if you want to. But
okay, well we can just meet you around front. You get you a coat, we'll meet you around front, okay?
Okay.
This must be tobacco stuff to do with, what's this got to do? What's this do here? This is tobacco.
That was an asbestos shingle cutter.
An asbestos shingle cutter, boy, that's wrong on that, wasn't I?
It's wrote on it.
It's wrote on it?
Yeah.
I thought that had something to do with cutting tobacco.
No.
What sure is
That's what they used to use when they pull electric wire in the cities and stuff.
Well, it would have had a big pole on it, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So these would have been from what years? The early 1900s on these?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that one's got the smaller, what do you call this right here, a blade or?
Well, they called them a foot when
A foot?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a bigger one over here. Was this just
Now that's what you call a hillside turner. You can plow either way with that. And
either way, you can switch the blade around.
Kick that and flip it over and go right back the same way you went.
Yeah. So these are some you redone and just got them sitting out here. So generally when you get them, you're probably just getting the metal pieces, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of times you have to add something to them in the metal where they've lost it and things.
So you've been, over the years you had people buying these to decorate, probably put in the yard,
I've sent a lot of them in Kentucky.
To Kentucky?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. It's nice. I like representing farming history.
Well,
I'm actually wanting to.
That's good that somebody is.
I'm wanting to start a place where people can come experience farming, like where they come and stay, like an Airbnb, but yet it's on a farm.
Yeah.
And then they can milk a cow or feed the pigs.
Yeah.
And so I'm wanting to start a farm up for people to come.
Right here is one of the best things that they come up with when you're raising tobacco.
Now, did your dad raise tobacco?
Yeah.
So you as a kid, you was into it then, I guess, wasn't you?
Yeah, but back when I was a kid, there wasn't nothing like this to do it with.
Oh yeah?
You had to, well, they'd lay off a fir, and then my job was to drop plants, and my brothers would come through and set them out.
This is automatic setter. You put the plant in here.
You hook this here to your tractor, see? And it put the dirt just perfect right back around them.
Yeah. So you've never had nothing this fancy going up, huh?
No, this was later years.
Later years. So you'd put your plants in here.
Yeah.
You'd have two people riding.
There you go.
One pulling. So was they doing the same thing, or was one person doing?
You got every other one.
Every other one. You stuck it in. Now does it just?
I'd bring it up there and hold it so it wouldn't fall out when you went over.
And this is turning.
See when you.
Oh, okay.
When it go through this here, that bring it back up there like that. When it got down there, it turned it loose.
So do you know the history of this one, where it came from?
I've used it.
You used it?
Yeah.
After you started doing tobacco?
Yeah.
You used this?
Yes, buddy.
Now what'd you pull, a mule or a horse?
No, you pull it with a tractor.
With a tractor, okay.
See, you had your water wheel, you usually have to carry that.
So this would water the plants if you did
it'd come right through there, and every time that thing went over, it'd go, it'd squirt a bunch of water right on that plant.
So this is a piece of your personal equipment, and that's interesting.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, this has been an interesting day.
Well,
it's been good to talk to you, and we're always interested in history and farming. Maybe when you start farming in the spring, you let us come up and watch and film it.
Well, you might want to come up here and go through that old house.
Oh yeah, we like stuff like that.
Well, sometime work it in your schedule, and when it gets pretty, I'm up there working with. But there's 5 rooms up there, about like you've been going through, only just different stuff.
You got stuff in that house too?
Yeah, cool.
Well, I'm going to give you my number before we leave, but we're going to say bye to everybody. Guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed walking through and seeing all of Bob's history here. I call it farming memorabilia and history, and I love it. Glad to see somebody that's preserving things that we're not seeing no more. It's about gone. People don't use stuff like this no more. There's probably, how many people still farm tobacco up the valley, you reckon?
None.
None?
I think Shipley might still grow some, but see, Philip Morris, for a long time, after the government bought it out here, Philip Morris, they wanted you to keep raising it, but you didn't have no guarantee of what they pay you for it.
Okay.
I got several letters from them, and they said in their contract that they could go down as low as 40 cents a pound. Well, I know you can't raise it for that.
Right. So it's cheaper just to take the money from the government and not deal with it, I guess. Just sit home and take that, and then you know you had that much coming for 10 years anyway.
Well, it wasn't that much.
Not much.
If you, like me, I rented to some other people. Well, if you own the place that I rented from you, I got more money than you did.
Okay.
I don't know what the deal was, but that's the way it worked.
Well, hopefully, guys, we'll get to go see his farm and the house he's talking about. We'll see you on the next episode. Bye-bye. Oh my goodness.
Now you can get some pictures of Plow pouring.
Yeah, he got a building. It's like a tool museum in here. There's plow points, and I like representing farming history.
Well,
I'm actually wanting
that's
to.
good that somebody is.
You've been collecting for a long time, ain't you? You must not never got rid of anything like on a tool. So do you know the history of this one, where it came from?
I've used it.
You used it?
Yeah.
What's this do here? This is the back of
That was an asbestos shingle cutter.
an asbestos shingle cutter.
it's
Boy, that's
rolled-
wrong on that, wasn't I?
It wrote on it. There's some more Shelby's prices in the grocery business. Well, I'd done retired
Oh, you done retired? Okay.
at that time, but I was working.
Working. I don't think you've ever stopped working. Hello, I'm John.
I'm Bob Miller.
Bob, good to meet you, buddy.
Come in and get your sneakers.